Muy buenos a todos, chicos, chicas, reyes, reinas, bienvenidos a un nuevo canal. Hoy empezamos el evento principal de la 4.3, Rosas y Mosquetes. Llevo tiempo queriendo jugar este evento porque he visto que aparece Ayaka y me imagino que van a mezclar a los personajes de Fontaine con los personajes de Inazuma. Además de que quiero jugarlo ya, ¿sabéis?
Seriously? But Mr. Morris, I don't understand, sir. How can you only be telling me this now?
He tenido este rato para grabar con mi voz y coño, si puedo intentar grabar aunque sea un... No sé si podré jugarlo entero con mi voz, ya os aviso. Pero yo sé, a lo mejor grabar un par de episodios, ¿sabéis? Para poder traer un vídeo de Genshin Impact con mi voz. Porque los únicos vídeos que traigo con mi voz son los de Wolf Among Us y coño. De Genshin Impact también me apetece comentarlo, ¿sabéis?
I'm afraid that there's nothing really I can do. I'm really facing a crisis. My hands are tied.
But what about my film?
Well, I'm
Sí,
afraid you
imagino
have
que
to
es
come
hacer
up with something on
películas.
your own.
Yo sí que me doy
Take it
cuenta de
from
que
me.
creo que es
Sometimes you
hacer
just have to let
películas.
things go. Same goes for this film festival.
Imagino que la directora va a ser Furina, por lo que he visto en el dibujo principal, ¿sabéis? En el dibujo del evento.
Hey, isn't that Xavier? So he's
Coño.
back in Fontaine now.
¿Verdad? Este está bien, el de Inazuma. Ese tío, para si no lo sabéis, hay una misión entera de mundo larguísima con ese tío.
Oh, why, if it isn't the dear Traveler and Paimon. I really didn't expect to bump into you here at this time.
¿Cuánto tiempo sin vernos? ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo te va todo?
Well, I was doing just fine until I received some terrible news just now. The investor I was working with for my upcoming film has fallen upon some hard times and is no longer able to provide the promised amount of funds.
Can't you just find a different investor?
Unfortunately, that's not how it works. We had signed an agreement specific to the Fontanalia Film Festival, stipulating that I cannot
Joder,
work
vaya
with
contrato
any
de
other
mierda, ¿eh?
investors until the festival is finished.
The Fontanalia Film Festival? What?
Oh, is this your first time participating in Fontaine's Fontanalia Film Festival? Then allow me to fill you in. The Fontanalia Festival was established to commemorate the legendary Loch Knights, who went on a quest to search for the Oceanids, and eventually welcomed the Hydro Arconageria. The holiday is deeply connected to the founding of Fontaine, as well as its unique laws and trials. It's one of the most important festivals for this nation.
Ya empezamos con las avenidas, ¿eh?
What's with that weird expression on your face? It's like you're trying really hard to remember something.
No me deja darle.
Ah, I was just trying to recall the exact description from the books, in order to avoid any unnecessary arguments over semantics. I usually try to recite things straight from the source.
Well, either way, Paimon thinks she gets it now. It's just like the Windbloom Festival in Mondstadt, and the Lantern Rite in Lille.
Yes, those are festivals of a similar variety. Who doesn't like a good festival? And just like those of other nations, Fontaine will hold a plethora of events around this time each year. To commemorate the Loch Knights, people will imitate them by putting on special costumes, raising golden cups, and going door to door asking for pure water. But a few years ago, Lady Farina started to find the whole idea a little drab, and so decided to change the part about pure water to
Es como
sweets.
Halloween, ¿no?
That really doesn't surprise Paimon at all.
The whole thing seems more akin to a carnival now, and it's quite popular among the kids. Every year you can hear a bunch of them saying,
Sí,
trial or
es
treat.
una copia de Halloween.
Oh, that sounds pretty fun. But how does that connect back to the film festival you mentioned?
Ah, yes, it appears I've strayed off topic. I just got too excited after seeing you. Let me get back to the point. The Fontanalia Film Festival is an event proposed by the Fontaine Film Association this year. Now that film technology has matured as a medium, it's the perfect time to introduce more people to the art form. During this time, people may submit films to be evaluated, and the entry with the highest score will be given the Farina Award by the association.
El premio Furina.
The what award?
The Farina Award. You know, after the Hydro Archon. They coined it while Lady Farina was still in power, but even though things have changed, no one has made any motion to update the name. Perhaps
Vale.
everyone still thinks of it as a pretty appropriate name. Even though she isn't the Hydro Archon any longer, Lady Farina is still Fontaine's superstar.
Es como los premios Oscar, ¿no?
Anyone
O sea,
with
¿quién es
eyes
Oscar
can
y
see
por
the way
qué
she
tiene un premio?
shines on the stage.
Alright, guess the name does work pretty well when you put it that way.
Oh, but who would have guessed there'd be an issue with the funding? How will I ever explain this to Miss Chiori? Not to say all the other actors who traveled all the way here from Inazuma.
Chiori? Sounds familiar. Where have we heard that name before?
Creo que tiene algo que ver con una tienda de ropa de una corte de Fontaine, ¿no?
Yes, that's her. I asked her to oversee the event's art direction, including the design of the actors' costumes and appearances.
Oh, Paimon remembers now. Navia said that her clothes were designed by Chiori, and Kirara's outfit too.
How to describe her? Well, she tends to be pretty direct and can be very forceful when it comes to dealing with people. The fashion world in Fontaine has dubbed her the Thundering Seamstress. Her remarkable designs have led many Fontainians to become very interested in Inazuma. Anyway, Chiori is acquainted with all the
Chiori creo
actors
que es
I've
de
invited
Inazuma,
from
no es de Fontaine,
Inazuma. Without her help, I don't think I would have been able to get such an international cast for the film. She really is a kind soul.
Who are the actors from Inazuma? Do we know them?
Me imagino
Why
que
don't the
haya
two of
Kaito.
you accompany me to the Aquabus station to welcome them? Judging from the time, the Aquabus should be arriving shortly. Chiori will be waiting to meet me there as well.
Vale. Pues está guapo. Chiori creo que es un personaje que va a salir dentro de poco. O sea, es un personaje jugable, no va a ser el típico personaje de mierda que ponen típico, ¿no? Pero creo que es un personaje que va a salir en un futuro y creo que es Geo. O sea, creo que es un personaje Geo de Inazuma. Vale, estos son los minijuegos, me imagino. No creo que... Vale, ¿dónde está esto? Entonces, pues, no sé, tiene bueno. Ah, pero esto no es. ¿Cómo voy a la historia? Durante el festival los niños pueden pagar. Pero esto es un minijuego. Evento festivo. Creo que es esto, ¿no? No tengo ni puta idea. Ahí la misión. Durante el festival tú encuentras una guardia en busca de personas que pueden un asentamiento. No. Lo mío yo no parece tener una visión única sobre las que... No. ¿Dónde está para continuar la historia? Está aquí arriba, ¿no? Un disparo de silencio aquí. Navegar. Ah, mira. Y ya que me da ahora, joder. O sea, esto de que te cambien la misión así, tío. Bueno, el tema que Chiori es un personaje que saldrá más adelante y creo que es Geo. Entonces, pues bueno, está guapo, ¿no? Que no pongan siempre personajes de mierda, ¿no? De estos típicos. El ascensor no sé si es que lo tengo bugueado, pero si nunca llama, tío. Pero bueno, imagino que será por aquí, ¿no? Aquí es. Mira, este es Chiori, joder. Media hora para llegar aquí, tío, joder. Buah. El diseño de Chiori mola. Bueno, las zapatillas no. Pero el diseño mola un montón. Y este Inazuma, creo que no es de Fontaine.
Miss Chiori?
Your talk with the investor sure went fast. The Aquabus hasn't even arrived yet. Oh? And who are they?
No, el inversor creo que está abajo.
Allow me to introduce you. This is the Traveler and Paimon.
Pleased to meet you.
Likewise! We've heard the owner of Chioriya Boutique is a skilled seamstress, so it's a real pleasure to finally meet you in person.
La vestimenta de Navia es una preciosidad y el concepto de vestimenta de Kirara es muy innovador.
Why, thank you. I strove to create an outfit that matched her high social station as the demoiselle. So tell me, what happened? I can tell the conversation didn't
Tiene
go
como un
quite as
acento muy gracioso.
expected.
Well, it's like this.
El inversor sale de baja. Estamos sin plata.
Ugh.
I know, Chiori, you don't have to say it. You did remind me that this investor was a little bit sketchy.
Yes, there's no doubt about that.
Vaya.
But how could I pass it up? He offered me twice as much as the others.
And therein lies the problem.
Yes, but just put yourself in my shoes. After obtaining such an excellent script, it's only natural that I would want to make the most of the film. The budgets that the others had proposed were nowhere near enough. It's difficult to find someone willing to front such a large amount of mora, so...
Don't be sad, Xavier. We might be able to help scrounge up some more together for you.
Oh, thank you, Paimon. That means a lot to me. But the cost of the film is staggering. I'm afraid that any mora we can scrounge together in a short amount of time won't even be able to cover the actors' fees.
Bueno, puedo actuar yo.
We need to move on. What's happened has already happened, and there's no changing it. But now's not the time to give up.
What? You're saying that you have a plan?
No, that's not what I mean. I'm simply saying I wouldn't give up just yet. The actors I recommended aren't just after Mora after all.
Vale. A ver, yo creo que los actores, los personajes que ya conocemos de Inazuma, ¿no? O sea, creo que una de las actrices va a ser Ayaka. Ojo, Ayato. Y Ayaka. Y Yoimiya.
Really? Then where do you live?
We Malazines live in Marcy Village. The only way to enter is from underwater.
Bueno, tiene sentido que Yoimiya esté porque en la siguiente banner va a salir ella. Y la Raiden Shogun, por lo cual la Raiden Shogun también aparecerá en este evento. La Raiden Shogun aparecerá en este evento. Ojalá. Aunque no tiene pinta de que la Raiden Shogun vaya a salir de su casa. La Raiden Shogun tiene pinta de que se queda en el castillo ese.
Oh, we've arrived, but I haven't even finished chatting with Abel yet. I also enjoyed Abel's introductions to Fontaine along the way. Everything you described was so clear and detailed that we can't help but want to hear more.
Thank you so much. I'm usually working here on this aqua bus, so I hope I'll have the chance to see you again. There are still many more places I'd like to introduce to you.
Vale. Pues podemos usar esto de actores, ¿no?
Welcome to the court of Fontaine.
Chiori, you sure have changed a lot. This is the first time we've seen you since you left Inazuma.
I haven't realized it's been so long. I was in such a rush when I left that I didn't even get to say goodbye.
Thank you for extending the invitation, Mr. Xavier. I'm looking forward to a fruitful trip here in Fontaine.
Pues para empezar a mí.
It's an honor to have the head of the Kamisato clan visit us.
So they are who you meant when you said you had actors coming from Inazuma?
Oh, it's the Traveler and Paimon.
Yep.
Wow, what a coincidence! Ayaka and I were just talking about you on the way here. Are you also here for the film?
Bueno, sí.
We just ran into Xavier earlier and came over with him.
Nos han liado.
But I'm not an actress. Sir Kamisato and Lady Ayaka are the real actors here. I'm just
O sea,
tagging
que
along
ellos
with
sí son los
Ayaka to have a good
protagonistas.
time together.
Pensé que yo siempre sería el protagonista.
About that, I mean, how was I supposed to contact you when I was making preparations for the film? I figured you were probably busy, and I didn't want to disturb you. So I could only keep you in the back of my mind while I sought other actors to play the lead roles in the film.
I had been thinking about a surprise reunion with you during our trip here, but you still managed to surprise me first.
Hombre.
Oh, so you all know each other already! My, what a coincidence! What are the chances everyone could be brought together here like this? Why don't we go to Hotel de Boer and catch up over a meal? I've already made a reservation.
Huh? Did you reserve 2 spots for
No,
us
para
too?
nosotros no, nosotros comemos en el suelo.
Yes, of course, of course. I'll be sure to tell the boss to serve a few more
cómo
delicious
sabía que íbamos a
dishes
estar
just
aquí,
to
eh?
make sure there'll be enough
O
food.
sea, ha pedido la reserva para nosotros sin
Very
saber que íbamos a estar.
Then please, kindly lead the way, Mr. Xavier.
Vale. Yo la skin de Jack la tengo. No sé si aparece así para todos, me imagino que sí, que Jack aparecerá así para todos. O solamente aparece así para los que tengan la skin, pero me imagino que es para todos.
Wow, the buildings in Fontaine are so tall. Just look at how big they are. And there's the fountain that Abel mentioned earlier. It really is a magnificent sight. And look at that huge spinning sphere. Where does it get its power? Wait a sec! Could it be one of those clockwork mecha we've heard so much about?
No. Yo tampoco sé muy bien qué es esa cosa, la verdad, pero bueno. Lo voy a dejar aquí, ¿vale? Que llevamos ya 15 minutos y creo que como primer episodio está muy bien. Espero que os haya gustado, que lo hayáis disfrutado. Y nada, mañana continuaremos pues grabando la película. Adiós. Gracias por ver. Adiós.